All right, folks, now to the reason why I think I got the SQL injection, which in less than 4 minutes filled 188 gigabytes of free space on my hard drive. And here I'd like to point out there are 3 built-in backdoors by Microsoft for law enforcement agencies, proper law enforcement agencies, to access people's computers at any time as anonymous users. I have no problem with that as long as they have boundaries. I believe that people that do commit computer crimes need to be shut down. Uh, I, I so I can't argue about them having doors in the software because it might be necessary to catch people who are bilking people, say false charities, or the smut purveyors and child pornography and all that other garbage. Yeah, they need to be taken down. There's no place for this, and there's no justification for it. I don't care how crazy or sick you are. It's just not right. Period. So no, I'm not going to complain about the 3 back doors for lawful use. Um, I do have a problem with without warrant, but then again, as I've pointed out in an earlier video, in my Defend America First DAF, that under the National Emergency Act, we no longer have a constitution. It is null and void during a national emergency. And we've perpetually been under one since 1945. It was originally put into power in 1933, but didn't get teeth until FDR came into office. And since then, you would think that the War Powers Act that Bush enacted was the worst thing. No. I found out Mr. Bill Clinton put an even more dangerous one on the books. And I'm in the process of chasing that one down. As you all know, I will not publish anything unless I can verify it from 3 independent sources. Because of my extensive time doing telecommunications, setting up things such as banks, Mobil Oil, Murray Financial, and a host of other companies, I'm not going to tell you the protocols or how to do it or anything else. They are my customers. They have my confidentiality until the day I die. So they were good to me, and I'm going to be loyal to them. That's all it takes. You be good to me, treat me fair. You've got somebody that'll be loyal to you no matter what the cost to self. Because I have such a high price that I put on people that treat me decently, because most of my life people haven't. So those that do, hell, I'd give my life up for them. Not as rapidly as I would for my old lady. Now, my better half, there's nothing I would not do for that woman. But back to the topic. In my favorites, like I said, there's 4 videos on Israeli spies. And it's about how they have their own software company, and they're the ones that write the code for our phones. They're the one that handle the billings and everything else. And it's been an issue even for the intelligence agencies of our country. Now, I would like to reach out to you folks and ask you for help. Because when I deleted my old account and I had to rebuild my computer, I didn't lose my data as files that I downloaded, but I did lose all my bookmarks and everything. There's a gentleman who has developed a new framework for the internet that is far superior as far as security to anything we have now, as well as 10 times faster. I believe the gentleman lives in California. They've tried to assassinate him a few times, and the last time I'd heard of the assassination attempts by the sheriffs, just like William Cooper, they tried to get a headshot. He was driving into his driveway with his two very young children in the back seat. The bullet hit behind his head on the edge of the door frame. And I'd really like to find out who that gentleman is. And I don't know if it would do any good, but I would go to the wall for that guy if he really has that superior coding, and which would also increase our bandwidth by 10% minimum. And then we don't have to worry about all of the breaches of security for credit cards that happen at point of sale in stores, as well as hacking of their systems. Now, in a big corporation, that in itself makes somebody a target. But I find, as well as in all the technical paper, but I would really like to find who this gentleman is. And I still have time. So here's I did 3 videos just prior to this hack that was done to my computer, and then my cell phone with the death threats. There was one time an individual from Massachusetts, and it's not a friend of mine, it's someone I only had one interaction with. We're neither friend nor foe. And he's saying, in order to be a true sovereign, you cannot depend on the government for your subsistence. Well, I agree. I cannot be a sovereign on the land because I have no way to provide for myself other than my mind and my mouth. Those I can still use. My mind is sort of compromised because I've had 2 strokes. So I'll have days where I talk funny, or I'll use words that don't make any sense in the sentence. It gets strange. I'm kind of thankful for the strokes because it took a lot of my past, my memories, so therefore it took all the baggage and garbage out. The first video I did, I believe, was about our national debt. And I said in the video, should we be obligated to pay a national debt that the central bank prints our money, charges us 10% interest on that money, but does not print up the money to pay the interest? So we are perpetually in debt. And I go back, I know it goes back earlier than 1812, but I specifically go back to the War of 1812 because at that time the charter for the central bank was kicked out. And I think it was Rutherford who was president then. I'll verify this. This is just a end of the day recording. But we denied them, and Aaron Rothschild directly quoted, "If you will not give me my charter for a central bank, I will bury you so deep in debt you will beg me for a central bank." So, and then World War I, World War II, that was not something we were willingly going into. We were manipulated into that, and the massive debt that was accrued from those wars on top of the 1812 effect and every other instance since then. We get the money, but we do not get the money to pay the interest. So we're getting compound interest, and that's why our national debt is so out in the stratosphere. I really don't know if it's ever going to be physically possible to pay off that debt. So that's number one. Are we morally obligated to pay a debt we did not willingly incur, nor did we know that this was happening in the manner it was happening? Looks like I'm going to have part 3 to tell you about the other 2 topics I brought up, because they still pertain today to all of us on the internet. And I brought this up before anybody had any inkling of what was going on, and I did it because I was hacked. That gave me the red flag. That signaled to me something